Welcome to the Rugby Bits podcast. We are here after a mammoth year for the Springboks. They've played 15 games. They played their final game in Cardiff. They've won that, had a really successful year. We're going to talk about that. We're going to go through. There's a competition called the URC that fortunately the Bulls didn't play this weekend, so we don't have to talk about that. We don't have to talk about the Sharks. They also didn't play this weekend, but there's other URC games we can talk about. We'll catch up with some of the domestic rugby. And in the second half, we'll preview the Champions Cup, which is starting this weekend. I'm joined by Shaun and by Kooks, fresh from a flight from Wales. Kooks, I want to ask you how the game was, but also we hear you made a friend this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, guys, yeah, came from a flight. I've been in two capitals in a space, or three actually, in a space of 24 hours in Cardiff, London, and then Pretoria for my sins as I got home. Um, Cardiff is probably my new favorite place in terms of to watch rugby, in terms of it's like a spectacle because the stadium is in the city center. So like from when we were staying in the stadium, it was 600 meters, and you literally go stadium, you walk to the stadium, at a pub, you walk to the stadium, and then from off the other stadium, you walk straight into like 6 million pubs, which is like incredible. It's like DHL Stadium is quite similar. It's like, but instead of like having to walk to like Hamilton's or Waterfront, there's like 60 Hamiltons and like 60 like Mitchells basically, and just like pick your poison. And it's such a cool vibe. Like I mean, like and that's I mean, it wasn't sold out, but you sort of as you're around the stadium, you're like just everywhere you go, it's just pubs and people, and it's pumping, and it's just so cool to know like the stadium's like right around the corner. Like you just go one street, then you see the stadium on the other side, and like I mean, Principality is incredible. But like, I mean, before the stadium, I mean, we went for the first time ever. We're having jugs of Guinness, not just normal. Like guys were just like, it just took too long to sort of pour one by one. So they were just selling jugs and jugs of Guinness, and you just came and like one guy's like, "Yeah, there's no time to bring the G now. We just gotta just basically we're just inhaling Guinness now. That's what we're doing." Um, no, it was incredible. I was seeing about 64 Colises before the game started, so I had to bring myself towards myself. So the game actually helped me sort of recess. I was I had a big Friday, I had a massive Friday, massive. I mean, the game's at 3, so now like I mean, I got a call from some of my mates at like 11 o'clock asking me where I was, and I was like, "Guys, but I'm surviving." They're like, "No, you might get." So then got to the stadium, saw Dan Bigger at the stadium. I mean, at obviously I was working on the TNT broadcast. Then managed to get a selfie with him and Jonathan Davies and Sam Warburton. And then today, chilling on Instagram, and then I just see Dan Bigger followed you. I don't know if it was a mistake, but I've got the screenshot saved, so it happens. And now I've seen you guys at rugby, but it has happened. But no, well, it was fantastic. I mean, it was so funny. Like South Africans make me laugh. Like I mean, obviously I saw that in Twickenham and in a way, but we just don't know how to fit into play. We just take over. We don't fit in. We take over places. We take over pubs. And then saying this one pub we were at Walkabout was very cool. Like, but they tried to play with African music, but tell it felt like the same Loftus, the same playlist they have at Loftus or in Kings Park, and it's like they played like Captain like 8 times. I'm like, okay, guys, if you go back to normal music, like, you wouldn't have to play only the African music now. You can play anything else, and like just let's just not repeat songs. And I mean, like it was so funny. The amount of South Africans were there. I mean, again, like I mean, obviously, okay, like we caused a record, but I definitely will have Cardiff again. I'll definitely go back. It is a very cool place to go watch rugby. It was a very long, long, long Sunday. I mean, I had 4 hour bus ride to Heathrow, then the 12-hour flight, then Pretoria. I'm hanging on by a thread, yeah, but that's why this podcast is being recorded in the afternoon as opposed to normal evening times because I'm going straight to bed after this.
Kooks needs a nap after this.
I need,
Yeah.
I need a nap, and you know when I landed, now everyone's like, "Oh, it's the 1st of December." Like, oh, I'm like, I just need to like, take a break from alcohol. And I got a pub run tomorrow, so like I need to get through the pub. Like the pub runs, I'm just gonna go for the run and somehow finally disappear, and then I'm leaving Joburg to go back to PE on a holiday. People need to leave me alone. I'm gonna go
Bria,
hide in her.
I hate to break it to you, but it's the 1st of December, as you mentioned. Like, you can't say no, can't turn down an invitation, and you can't turn down a beer.
I'm
This
gonna be.
is the
I'm,
level at which you're going to be
yeah.
operating for the
No, no,
next
no.
31
Can you,
days.
Cooks, can you ask Supersport to give you more work? Maybe that's the way to avoid.
No, I'm gonna go home.
for
Like
this
the
December.
problem is either that or I go to I go to the Lollies. I mean that's I don't need manual labor in this December. That's the last thing I need. Like so I rate. I'm gonna go December. I'm gonna go to PE. Sort of rest. I'm gonna have Marlins this weekend, so I'm gonna go chill, and then I'm gonna go to PE, and then I'm gonna go rest. That's what I need. I want to be that guy like, oh, Cooks, you only go out in Cardiff. Yes, I do. I strictly drink overseas. That's what that's I'm just gonna be very bougie. Like I just strictly drink overseas from now on.
You know what? I think that's not a bad thing. Shaun, apparently Cooks met up with someone quite close to you as well in Cardiff.
Yeah. So my brother, the chop. So he was at the Italy game and he was at the Wales game, and they were two pretty significant games for the Springboks through the season. I was like, you actually don't realize how lucky you were. But anyway, so my brother, my sister-in-law, and a couple of their mates are going, and then I message Cooks. I'm like, hey, bud, are you there socially or are you working? He's like, I'm seeing double, but I'm working. I was like, that's interesting. Welcome to the final test outside the test window of the year. And I'm like, so I messaged my brother straight away. I'm like, listen, if you see Cooks, just tell him I say hi. Literally 2 minutes later, my phone's ringing. Cooks is phoning me. He goes, look at this reprobate I just bumped into. He's like, I've met the best brother of the family. Finally, don't have to deal with you all the time. You know the usual shit. I can see both of them. Their eyes were like operating in a bit of a weird space. And then I was winding my butt up a little bit because Cooks, you sent those messages, those pictures with Dan and Fox, and then I sent it to my butt. I was like, listen, you weren't important enough to make the Cooks's game day collage. And then he's like, oh, I was standing there when that happened. I'm like, and let me guess, you had no idea it was the greatest Welsh 10 ever, the greatest Welsh captain ever, and probably in the top three best 13s on the planet in the history of the game. He goes, yeah, I don't know who those people are.
I love it.
It was the
That's
classic.
actually the right energy to come to a game like this.
There was a guy in front of me. We took the picture, and he's like, "Cooks, you shouldn't be taking a picture of these guys. Like don't be a fan." I'm like, "It's Dan fucking Bigger and Jonathan Davies. When am I gonna see them again? Like in Santon?" I'm like, they're literally in front of me. Like I was like, what am I supposed to do? Just let them walk by and be like, "Hey guys, guess what I saw today? I saw just like, you take a picture." No, because I'm a cool guy.
Yeah, but Dan, that's what Dan Bigger followed you because he's gonna give you a little bit of a shout next time he pulls
Exactly.
down to
Dan
Cape
Bigger
Town or
and I and
Joburg.
our friends. I support Springbok and Wales and Toulon, Northampton Saints. Every side that Dan Bigger's play for, I now support. You know what? I
Cooks,
want to drag.
this is in no way related to that email I got from your manager saying that I need to go and delete all of our previous podcasts where you rant
Yes,
about whales and
yes.
dragons and
And you know
no,
what?
just checking.
Remember my hot take of Dan Bigger being the greatest 10 in the last 15 years? You
I,
remember me
I,
saying
I
that?
I do remember that.
Yeah, I
Yes.
remember that as well. People fighting me. Who's Finn Russell anyway? We have Dan Bigger.
Now we know it's real. So yeah,
Exactly.
I was just double checking which Welsh team did Dan Bigger play for. Ospreys. We at Rugby Biz do not want the Ospreys to be taken out by the Welsh Rugby Union. We
No, I'll
are
keep
Team
them.
Ospreys. They must stay. Everyone else must go, actually.
The greatest thing about the Euro season, Ospreys knocked the Lions out. The thing that's still there. We still speak about shit, but who cares about the Stormers winning it?
Yeah, I was
So
just about to ask.
Ospreys, Wales, Toulon, and Saints.
Yeah,
Cooks, I've got
our,
that right, eh?
Yeah,
our favorite teams.
our favorite team. I mean, Toulon. I mean, we with a whole bunch of the Africans there, so we love them too.
And he was so good at Toulon, he was basically juggling his merge into media while still being a pro rugby player. That's takes another level of talent.
Yeah, I mean, I was about to try to see if I can get Cooks into trouble by seeing what his thoughts were on the game, but it seems like he's awake today, so won't be able to get him into trouble with his new friend. But Shaun, just on the game, I mean, there's not too much to analyze here. The Springboks won 73 points to nil, 11 tries scored. Yeah, good performances. There is an incident we'll talk about in a bit, but just in terms of the game and what stood out for you. I think the story, I guess, is in the midfield. I mean, I think you were also talking about after the game, Shaun.
Yeah, it was interesting. Like we've been really we've been wondering a lot. Like we've been wondering, we spent a good few years wondering how Andre Esterhuizen's gonna be more involved in the Springboks. Is his career over? We've been wondering about Damian Willemse because there was conversations about him being the 10, maybe the 12, maybe the 15. So then that's sorted. He covers midfield. Sasha covers midfield. We were asking questions about that. But then 13 was the conversation after we saw Lakanya come back from injury and then injure himself. Jesse Creel's cooking, and now we don't know who's next. And now Moody's in line. We've got Hooker in the mix. And I've always spoken about Dylan. Like we've seen him play 13 before in an emergency, but he's been named there a couple times as well. So like he can cover that gap. I was super impressed. It's obvious Andre Esterhuizen was on fire. Like he has taken that form and he's put it straight into 12, which is kind of what we expected. But he seems to have leveled up as opposed to having a good game, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He's not just like giving the odd good game here. It's like his level has clearly increased and got better. But I was super impressed with the way both of them played. Like Allende was pretty handy. I think he missed one of his 6 tackles, which is like considering how kind of loose and open the game was. I thought that was pretty good, especially because that's kind of the fulcrum of where everything happens on the backline defense. There were a lot of passes, a couple of kicks. So he operated reasonably well. We do have options at 12 and 13 now. Like I'm happy that we have enough options to take us to and past the World Cup with our current group. The obvious thing for me is that Moody integrates in and then takes us further, but we don't have to parachute him in and play him every game because we need him to get sorted. Like we're fine there. We're covered. We've got in-game emergency. We've got planned rest protocols. We've got all sorts of stuff. So I was quite impressed with that. Moody and Hooker were outstanding under the high ball. Hooker impresses me more and more each game. Moody has far surpassed the form he was in when he first became a Springbok. I think he's in a better space. Like Moody and Hooker are really, between the two of them, you almost can't see a Springbok team named without one of them on the wing at least. At the moment, like if you're looking at current form, like Chesson Colby's a must, and then you can kind of decide who you want to put in the other spot. So yeah, super happy with that. But yeah, we just went through the motions really well, and we kicked it on. I want us to be ruthless in games like this, and we were ruthless. We approached it differently in that we had the upper hand. We scored points, but we were still very in control and did not get loose.
Yeah.
We got loose later when it allowed us to get loose, which is something we haven't done. We've often got into like a 21-point lead, or we've got into an absolute 85% possession and territory domination space, but then it's never translated into a proper significant win, and this was that.
Yeah. It does seem like the game was more in control than, I think even early in the year, in July, we kind of struggled with that with Italy and with Georgia, just taking it up a gear and, accumulating the points, but also just keeping the game in control and keeping to like our basics. Like you can see even on the stats, they kicked 29 times still. Like they didn't concede 10 penalties. Like they did at least a lot of those minimum requirements of we are trying to play a game, even if there's a lot of disruption in the Bok team, never mind the disruption in the Welsh team. So I think that's a credit to that. Kooks, from your perspective in the stadium, I mean, it must have been a weird game. I know it wasn't full at the Principality, I should say. Yeah, obviously it was probably 50-50 Springbok fans as well. And I guess from a Welsh perspective, I mean, this is sad, like in many ways. But yeah, how was the atmosphere considering just how bad the game went on a Welsh perspective?
No, I must say it was quite festive and loud and for lots of the African fans. I think what the Boks did well is they never sort of gave Wales any bit of a sniff at a stage, you know what I mean? Like a try or something to get them going. So the Boks did do well to subdue the Welsh crowd. I mean, yes, there were times was the chance for Wales to sort of get some points in, but I thought the Springboks were good at sort of maintaining and making sure like the crowd doesn't become a factor at all. I think, a game like that, if you're Springboks, it's easy to sort of start, maybe you make in the second half, you make it a 21-10 game, or you make it then the crowds will get back into it. So she was different. I mean, I think the last 20, I think once it got to about the 50 range, I think it got to a point, it just kind of subdued a little bit. But again, you get a whole bunch of South Africans in the stadium, the guys still gonna be cheering and loud. So I think that was, yeah, we wouldn't say it was like a black to me a couple of weeks ago. I was in Paris when that crowd was on a different level. But again, I think credit to the Springboks as well in making sure that they're sort of like Sharky said, the level of control in that game. They just gave Wales a little bit of sniffs of anything else. Like you can't actually remember a line break, or you can't remember a massive chance, or there'll be those chances here and there. Like, I remember thinking for Wales side, you felt what summed them up with the difference in sides is, I'm sure you guys remember, I think that's the second try where Blair Murray goes with 50-22 was on, but it just rolls out and then it goes scrum penalty, boom, he's going in the corner. You're like, that's the difference, And like if that goes in there, the crowd is cheering. I mean, because again, it was the kick was on, is the bounce of a rugby ball. That goes in the corner, crowd gets up, they got allowed out 5 minutes to go, but they miss that, and then we go scrum penalty advantage, boom, 14-0. Crowd kind of goes, yeah, it's gonna be one of these days. I think that's what, with the Welsh crowd, you could kind of feel like the frustrating part is, I think that, like you said, I think for Springbok Sharky, the hardest thing for Springboks to do, well, the most is probably that game goes into halftime at 12-0, for example. But the fact that that game was done and dusted in about 15 minutes, and the Boks put their stamp on that market, everyone kind of said like, oh no, this could get terrible. So I think everyone's like, I was bored when like the Boks would win by 25 or 30, I said between 25 and 30. And I thought they'd pull away late. And I thought, you know what, these Welsh kids got absolutely nothing to lose. Then the Boks, yo, guys, that Boks scrum is actually a cheat code at the moment. Like, it's like, there was a guy was sitting next to me, youngish fan, and then his dad had asked him, I think before he has to visa try, he's like, do you think the Boks is gonna go left or right? And the dad goes, I think I'm gonna go right. I was like, oh, they set up to go left, and the guy goes, I think we'll go through the middle. And the Boks literally just walked the scrum. I was like, yeah, good call. I mean, I was like, yeah, that works as well. But like, it's just again like seeing like that's a Boks scrum again, and you see it live again. It also feels like it's gone like up another gear this in the year tour. Like John Human's got this scrum per, whoever comes in, like and this is out Oxenshire, which is the scarier part. But like this Boks scrum at the moment, like it's just, like even the Welsh fans, and they'll give away a penalty. You're just like, shame, back Boks, kick in the corner, please, because like everyone's like kind of waiting. It's like if it was physically possible, if you'll find a way to mark in the corner already, it's just like having Hooker just wait in the corner because a penalty's coming. But it's oh man, that Boks scrum, it's an absolute cheat code. And I was thinking yesterday, I'm like, you're not good if you can't. It's not even getting parity. It's just going, all right, we'll give away 1 or 2 penalties, and then you're sort of in the mix against this Boks side. Because otherwise, like, it's such a cheat code, because the Boks want to scrum in their own 5-meter line. They don't mind exiting. There's a penalty. They don't want to scrum in your 5. They don't want to scrum whenever, because it's just this weapon that they have now. But no, the crowd was good, but it was very hard because end of the window, I think, with the players not being available. But yeah, shame. At least the South African fans, we still gave it a good go.
Yeah, I'm just looking at stats that we have from Ultimate Rugby. In terms of penalties conceded at scrum time, in the games that the Springboks have played, so this is from, I mean, I won't say all the games, but yeah, very quickly. First Italy test, 4 penalties. Second Italian test, 3 penalties. Georgia 6, Australia 1, 3, Australia 2, 6, New Zealand 1, 4, New Zealand 2, 3, Argentina 1, 4, Argentina 2, 6, Japan 6, France 2, Italy 6, Ireland 10, Wales 6. So if you get to three, I mean, France is the only team that were under three. That's a good day. That is,
Yeah.
I don't know what you do at that. If teams don't want to concede more than 10 penalties in a game, if you already have to bank in that 30% of those penalties will come from a scrum, what do you do?
No, like, I think,
It's so
but like, you know,
it's insane how they are.
but that's the thing. Like, you know, that's why with Italy, for example, the test in Turin, like, they'll be kicking themselves because they find a little loophole there, managed to win a few scrum penalties, and then, I mean, I was on the pod for that day, but then they decided to suck at everything else. Like, like, like to this day, like if you Italy, like if you go to look, you're looking at the video going like, how do you not win this game? Like, the Box probably since the Australia game, probably one of the worst performances, and you're probably seeing that Italy like you got some scrum players like if you're like Ireland or someone or France, you're like, geez, just give us one of those, just give us two of those penalties you guys won. We'll take that and run with it. Because apparently Ireland's still going backwards. Apparently, like I don't know where they're going, but like
Ireland went so far backwards, they went to World Rugby headquarters and lodged a formal complaint. That's how backwards they went.
That was only Matt Williams, to be fair. I must correct myself, guys. I completely read the wrong stats. That was just penalties conceded in your own half. But basically, long story short, funny enough, Australia conceded zero scrum offense penalties in any of their games against the Springboks. Japan also conceded zero. So yeah, it's a bit weird. But yeah, let's get into the big incident of the game, which is the red card for Eben Etzebeth in the 78th minute for, let's call it contact with the eye at the lightest. Shaun, yeah, this is not good. We know now, especially with World Rugby, like at best, I think Eben is not playing any rugby for the rest of the year. But yeah, I mean, in terms of I haven't seen the whole, because I didn't see the whole game, but I haven't seen the whole clip. Obviously, there was from what I understand, a bit of an altercation, a bit of argy-bargy. It was a bit longer term than that. So maybe something happened between Man and Etzebeth, but regardless, there's obviously no excuse for putting your hands anywhere near someone's face.
No, Eben's got tickets to Honor Carson's concert in Esterhuizen over December, bro. He's not interested in doing anything but chilling with the fam. Yeah, listen, that's what red cards are still on the table for, and I'm happy with it. And there is a ban coming. How they package it is anyone's guess. This whole listen, there's some shit takes out there, but the general consensus is like it's a ban and it's a big one, and that's what's happening. I did message on the group. Do you see? I don't know if you guys like. Well, I don't know if you knew the timing, but as Eben was walking with the referee before they even viewed it, after this, because there was a scuffle, then it stopped and then it came back again. Like so, there were two instances, and the ref and Eben were walking, and I messaged on the group. I'm like, Eben just told the ref that he got punched. I don't think he said he got punched. I think he said he got gouged. There was some cut going on. But listen, Eben's not Evan, like we'd expect something like that from an Evan Roos or a Jaden Hendrickson, guys who are a little bit don't manage the mist so well. Like I know Eben plays on the edge and he was all about the red mist back in the day, but he's got infinite amounts of experience and he kind of plays on the edge, like gets really stuck in. Yeah, not good enough. There's something happened that doesn't change anything. Whatever happened before doesn't change anything. Like it, in my mind, if something happened before and there was contact with Eben's eye and then he's gone back to make contact with man's eye because of that, that's even worse. Like that it's gonna be terrible. So how it gets managed and how that initial view from the panel is like, is it reckless eye contact? Is it an eye gouge? Those things matter because they then kind of start putting those parameters in place about where the starting point is. So, is the starting point 8 weeks and he goes down to 4? It's important to note that I speak under correction, but the last time he got a ban, I think, was in 2012. It was against Nathan Sharp, who's gone so full cycle. He's retired. He's then gone into punditry and he stopped punditry. Like, so it was a while ago. So yeah, so that was the last ban. I don't know if it was the last ban for something like this or the last ban at all, but Eben doesn't really have history, but there is history
Yeah.
and
If
stuff.
I'm not mistaken, I think this is his first red card in international rugby, and he has 3 yellow cards. Obviously, he has like 140 odd test caps. As another For the Love of Rugby podcast, Brian O'Bannon was saying, actually, he has the most yellow cards in Springbok history, which is very surprising stats to know.
It's
Cook,
because he kept diving with his head on the ground trying to earn a penalty. The ref was like, no simulation, off you go.
But also, like, Sharky, I mean, obviously the takes around it. I mean, it's been so weird, right? Being in a weird place. I think everyone's like, it's giving the haters a narrative. But I'm just like, my thing's very simple. Like, Eben obviously gets the eye, and it's a terrible look. It's definitely got to get a big ban. But then, like, if Josh Mann will also get evidence of him putting his eyes in Evan's, you're like, yeah, he's gonna go as well. It's that simple. Like sometimes, like rugby, like I was talking to people like trying to overcomplicate this thing. It's like we're like, yeah, like we're not. No one's shying away from that. It's going, Evan needs to go, but if the other oak also put his fingers in his eye, he's gonna get banned as well. That's all.
Yes.
That's like the simple thing here. But like I just feel like this whole like how toxic it's become now between us and the rest of the world. Like we can't tweet about anything because we'll say, yeah, but you must also get a call. And someone will be like, yeah, but no, but stop excusing what Eben. You're like, no, but I'm not excusing it. I'm very happy at the moment that the Springboks season comes to an end because like this toxicity it gets a lot between us and you know other fans and it just stresses me. I'm just like, guys, just watch a game of rugby. Like, let's just chill. Like, just breathe. Like, we'll start with each other. I mean, obviously, we are quick to react, but everyone else is quick to react. And everyone knows like the best way to go viral is to say something on the Springboks because we will be ready to attack. We're like wolves on there on on social media. But I've seen this thing the whole of yesterday. I'm just like, there's nothing you can say besides everyone's will cop a big bad. But again, if Man's also got the fingers, and you can see the proof. There's more proof in there with Man than you can see with Henrik Vessels. So that's my worry. Like with Vessels, it was word of mouth. Oh, and also, can I say something? I don't no more player statements in hearings. No more. No more player statements.
Yes.
agreed.
No more.
What
I don't know where this thing
do you
started.
want? This whole toxic space comes from that, exactly that. And now their media outlets are leading with he went straight away to say sorry, or so and so didn't speak well of him. It's and nothing. You foul play, off you go. Did you retaliate? Off you go.
Yeah.
It's
Just
all in the laws. Just stick to it. Everyone's
oh,
happy. Don't
it's
forget about biscuits and all that other cuck.
just like now, I just felt like my head. I had a headache, and like I'm like, man, we have the replays for a reason. We don't need now, yeah, like Eben doing talk, and then Man's gonna sit down and talk. No, I felt the eyes, guys. Let's look at the tape and make a decision.
I
Let me put my
cursed
notes
the
on.
day Bernard Barrett put that statement out for Tyke Bird because it really ruined things for World Rugby. Like Cooks is so mad he had to walk out. We I think it's such a, like you said, Sean, it's a nothing burger. Like all we need to do, you have the video in front of you. Look, yeah, that's my worry is that URC decision is such a weird decision. It's such a weird precedent to set. The the one between Vessels and the Connacht player. Like, I just hope this isn't a situation now where we find a way that even if it's just man, like even if we find that like okay, man did start it, we mustn't now go to a situation where we ban man and we don't ban Etzebeth. That's stupid. So,
Imagine.
which is pretty
Imagine
much what
that
happened
happens.
with what's the Connacht's player name? Murray, with Murray and Vessels is the action that we can all see on TV. We don't ban that one, but we see the nefarious action that we don't really have evidence of that we ban. So this is very simple. Like you said, we take one case on its merit. Did you put your fingers in someone's eye? Yes. Great. You're banned for 12 weeks, plus minus. Man, Do we have evidence of him putting a thing on his eye? If yes, great. He's also banned for 12 weeks. Like, that's it. We don't need to sort of do and balance anything else. And yeah, it's just, yeah, this hasn't been the best weeks for the disciplinary committees. I don't have too many problems with what the referees have done. I think the only one that I think maybe was wrong was the Mostert red card. But I think most of the other cards that they've been given, at least in the games I've seen, I don't have much of a problem with them. It's in the disciplinary
Mostert
people
one
contradicting what the referee's done that does my head in every time.
Yes. So the Mostert one, I'm still going to stick up for the referee because the TMO came to him and said there's
sold him
clear
down the
head
river.
contact. So I'm okay with that. I think the Sasha one was an issue against Ireland. But you're right. Like, if you look at the whole thing, it's minor compared to what has happened afterwards. And I wonder if it's not, perhaps there's, because remember the URC does their own hearings.
Yeah.
The Autumn Nations series is done by the Six Nations. So it's not even World Rugby as far as I know. Like, I know it's all World Rugby sanctioned, but there's different, like, tournaments. So when something happens in the Rugby Championship or Super Rugby, it's all managed by SANZAR. Like, like World Rugby are involved, but it's not World Rugby. Perhaps that's something that needs to happen, is World Rugby need to take control of all of that. Listen, perfect world is, let's say it's 6-week ban, 8-week ban, 12-week ban. Perfect world. If they're both found to make contact with the eye, they both get the same.
Yeah.
Then no one can moan. I think everyone's worried that someone's going to get a 2-week ban and another oak's going to get a 9-week ban. I think that's what people are worried about, A. B, I think they're very worried that, like, Eben's ban's going to be like 3 weeks, regardless of man. Like, if they come out and say man did make contact and they freaking ignored it, then it's going to be diabolical. Like, this is really not great. Like, there's just more confusion. And Thala, you hit the nail on the head. Like, there's just so much undermining of the referees and so much, like, the referees are walking to the game. No wonder they're palming so much off to the TMO, because they're like, whatever I do, I'm damned if I do, damned if I don't. So forget about the forward passes. The TMO can look at them. I still believe that's a thing. And I'm okay with it. Like, let the game play. Even if it's relatively clear, you don't want to make the wrong decision. Like, imagine someone scores a try and was about to score and you call for a marginal forward pass that works out to not be a forward pass. I think we want the right decision. But the refs are probably, every single time the TMO's like, check, they must be like, oh, shit, here we go again.
Yeah. And then Monday comes, and then especially Monday comes, you're gonna get abused all week, and then they come on and be like, oh, guess what? It's fine. There's no need for the great card's been rescinded. You're like, also stuff me basically now for what I did on the weekend. But no, you just no player statements anymore. That's all I'm asking for, is no more player statements. And whoever had that idea needs to go look themselves in the mirror and maybe.
Beauden Barrett, you are not going to be in the World Rugby Hall of Fame because of your flip and player statement. You've ruined everything now.
It's Beauden. This whole thing started with that Burns tackle, he got it wrong. It was illegal. But then Beauden's like, oh, I wasn't expecting the ball. I don't give a shit. I don't care. That was the whole point of rugby, is to make people think you're not going to get the ball, and then you get the ball, and then you go and score a try. That's the whole point. That's what's called a screen. Who would have thunk? Then Beauden's like, oh, I wasn't supposed to get the ball. I didn't even feel it. Oh, it doesn't matter. And then BC's like, oh, I wish he'd said sorry sooner. And now they're like, oh, those bad South Africans. And now, like, Sia in the post-match interview was like, Eben went up to him straight away to apologize. So they're showing remorse. So now we've got, like, this is how the cynic in me is looking at. You're just like, just take all that noise away. Let's just look at the boring old facts. And
I think it'll be actually a really funny bit, like, in terms of, like, conspiracy, whatever, if all the other international teams decided we're not going to send any apology statements to South Africa. We're just going to make them just roast anytime that they've done something illegal. Just be like, nah, I love how Thomas Ramos was like, "Do you want to put into policy?" He was like, "Nope, I'm good." That would actually be a funny bit if they actually did that. I mean, a somewhat serious point is this is 3 records in 4 weeks. Um, Obviously the Vessels incident happened. I think the Springboks have done a great work in the last 10 years in getting away from that thug, um, reputation. Like I mean, we're all old enough to know 2002 in England, Labuschagne and him almost killing Johnny Wilkinson. And we've come very far from that. And we've done a lot of work to stop those things and make those like become like exceptional things. I mean, Dean Hreiling to Richie McCaw, like there's many incidents. I'm Look, I think there's a fine line at the box. Like, especially like in the game against Ireland last week, they were clearly trying to make a point physically. We talked about it last week, Sean. There was definitely almost like they came with like a bee in their bonnet with a bit of malice, not in a bad way, but like in a rugby way to try and sort of impose themselves physically. I'm kind of worried that in a game where you're 73-0 up, there's 2 minutes to go, there's nothing else, that we can still get whatever's happened in the facts, but we can still get triggered in a way that forces us to do something like this and now becomes an ill-disciplined thing. Look, credit to the Boks, they are a great 14-man side, so maybe it doesn't hurt them in games, but it will, like, it's like when we talk about Andrew Port with the scrum. Once you show a picture, it's very hard to then reverse it. And that's, I think, my worry with these things is you can easily gain back a reputation as much as you've done the work to lose it. And I think Rusty's also been quite wise in not being the antagonist guy. He said pretty much every decision I think he said was right. Like he's trying to be like, I'm not going to be the story. I'm going to try to make sure that we sort of deflect from this as much as possible. But I'm just worried that that the Boks are trying to really like set a physical tone, be great in the scrum, be great in the mauls, be great in the contact, make all these dominant tackles, that there's a fine line between that and then sort of losing your cool and conceding a red card like that.
It's Jaco Paper's fault. This is our first year with him. It's our first year.
Yeah.
Aren't we supposed to be better at this stuff?
It's Paper's fault. I think that's just something to watch. Like something isn't quite sort of connecting here. Cool. I think we can go to. I mean, I don't know if there's anything else we want to talk about from the game. Kooks, Shaun, I don't know if there's anything else. I think that's basically the game. Springboks won. I think what we'll hopefully do maybe late in the week, a nice big review of the Springbok year and sort of maybe give out some awards and talk in depth about it. But let's go to other competitions. Let's start with the Stormers. I think that's the safest place to start.
It was only the Stormers that played this weekend.
I believe so. And the Lions got a win from somewhere. I don't know how.
Oh, so we're going to burn the Bulls because Tyler's here, but Kooks, you and I, because we outnumber him, we're in the clear.
Yeah.
It's cool. Sorry, I didn't read the memo properly. I'm cool with that.
Let's start with the Stormers then, just before we go to other contentious games. The Stormers are the only unbeaten team in the URC right now. They beat Munster 27 points to 21. Full disclosure, I don't think any of us watched the game fully, but from what I understand, Munster were doing really well in the first half. They were leading, I think, 21 points to 6.
21-6, yeah.
Yeah.
Cruise boat, and then Stormers.
They scored no points in the second half. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, the Stormers are just fantastic right now. Like they've found a way to tie this all together. They found a way to really recover from like the last few seasons, and they're doing this without their Springboks. They're playing with like a lot of depth right now. They seem to have a really good, solid team. The forwards are really good in the set piece. They're really good in the contact. Paul de Villiers is helping out at loose forward, and their backs are really good. And I think it's now got to that point, Shaun, where again, we're saying like Dobbo's the best person to help you sort of restore and recover your career. So if you're kind of on that fringes and not quite like a URC regular, you go to the Stormers, you become a URC standard, if not a test standard player. And Dobbo's kind of done it again with the likes of Matia, with de Villiers, with Connor Evans, those sort of players have sort of, Matongo as well, have sort of stepped up again.
Yeah, there's some decent depth there all of a sudden. Like, it seems a bit weird. Like some competitive depth is probably more accurate way of putting it. Like we never really looked at that wider squad and thought, these guys can go the distance in terms of being competitive. Um, but he's created, like, brought back that belief again. It's almost the similar Rassie Erasmus Springbok setup, like that underdog setup. Like once you don't get rated, nobody really cares too much for us, and they don't think we can do this, and then it's almost like they're going to go prove their fans wrong. There's one moment, Wanisile Similani, that those hands he showed toward that first half try was ridiculous, just insane. But the biggest concern for me is more on Munster's side, because Munster and Stormers were like, this is a grudge match. There's a lot in it. Munster were looking good, but the Stormers to go there and polish off that team the way they did was quite something. I think Munster figured they were going to just kind of go through the motions and get it out. Like Stormers were mounting a comeback, but like most South African sides away from home, they're going to drop off at the end, and it didn't happen. But yeah, the Stormers full strength, and with like all those guys, they've got a good vibe. Like that's what we expect from the Sharks. The fringe players of the Sharks is to build something to bring the rest of the Springboks in and everyone to come to a space and then take it forward. And the Stormers are cooking. I mean, to be unbeaten now, to do it like that, sort of keep your unbeaten trip going against Munster when being down so much and stopping them from scoring, it's quite impressive.
And Munster played pretty much all their available Irish players. Like Byrne played, Crowley played, Casey played, and they still
they should have played Jean Klein. That's what they should have done. Just being the Stormers. That's what they should have done. Should have played Jean Klein. They're like, no,
I don't know how Jean Klein was available for the box.
They're like, no, we don't need Jean Klein. No, we don't. But I must say, the Stormers, the impressive thing for me as well, Shark, is, I mean, they've gone on tour already. And been on tour, come back, and you get Munster away, and you're probably thinking, geez, without Sasha, without Damian, without a big part of you, like, that's when you kind of need them in those situations against Craig Casey, Jack Crowley, still to get the job done. I think also what Dobbo's done also, which is very underrated. I mean, I think him and the Bulls have sort of found that balance in terms. I know the Bulls lost, but in the balance of what to do when the SA players aren't there, and Stormers have probably done it the best. Like the core that Dobbo's built. I mean, the Andre Smiths, the Sazi Sandi. I mean, like you got JD Shirking, and those guys there have been so good for the Stormers, and it shows the coach there because yes, last season probably was the groove troop here, where the Stormers kind of just yes, there are a lot of injuries, but they just basically tried to score tries from everywhere. Whereas now they've gone back to that defensive structure they had. Their packs playing well, their scrums playing, but again, then you still got all the magic. So for me, the Stormers they set themselves up nicely because they're probably thinking now is obviously top two and getting a home playoff game, and we know how good they are in Cape Town, and we know how good they are as the Lightning has followed me from as Lightning's up because I've been involved in rain for 6 days. I don't know, I haven't seen the sun in so long. Like I just want to go back to a normal summer day. But I was saying with the Stormers is the exciting thing for them is, and Thala also, they tend to be better in the second half of the season anyway. And now they've got that long run of home games coming up. But obviously Champions Cup will be a big test for them. But they're getting back their players. You get Sasha back. And even when they do lose their guys in Feb, their box to rest, they've given themselves also a bit of a window for them to sort of go, listen, we've done enough to maybe still finish top two. Because I think you're basically thinking you finish top two, you can still get the top two, say maybe we lost 3 or 4 games possibly, or maybe 3 games at most. I mean, so where they are now, I mean, is exactly where you want to be. And for me, they've won the competition before, Dobbo knows how to win without his Springboks. I must say, big shout out to Yuri Mattia, who sort of come through as he's gotten better and better for them at 10. And then like when you look at Angre, and like I just think Roy Nell's been at 12 or something like that, playing good rugby. Dylan Mart from the Creek was he came through and he got a nice try, but they got that base, and then you know all these balls coming back. They're going to be very, 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 very hard to stop.
Yeah. Let's go to Pretoria. The Bulls lost to the Lions 43 points to 33. The last quarter was just, I think, especially ugly for the Bulls. I mean, it was relatively competitive, I think. At halftime, it was 19-22 to the Lions, and it was still within reach. And the the Lions just, I mean, the Bulls just got blown away. Sean, you did try to warn me. I thought a team that couldn't win a Curry Cup with pretty much the same team against the Griquas had no chance to stop the Bulls. And yeah, it's not funny anymore because the Lions are literally above the Bulls in the log by a point, yes, but still. Yeah, I mean, I guess on the Lions side, they've really recovered well because the first 2 or 3 games, we thought this team was about to really just implode. And the Lions have done well. I mean, they've got a really good advantage at home, especially against overseas teams. Is you play them in Highveld, they want to run you off their feet. They seem to be fit enough, so they got those wins against Scarlets and Ulster, and now they've got the big one against the Bulls. Like if they're able to do their business at home, yeah, that's 9 wins already. Or even if you get 7 or 8 wins, that at least gives you a decent year. Where I thought maybe they'd be like near the bottom. And then for the Bull side, I guess, Sean, it's just you can't do these things if you want to host a final. I mean, we know now, like, you can get to finals, not win them. You want to give yourself the best chance. Like, you're now, I mean, they're 11 points behind the Stormers already. Like, you can't let that gap grow. Like, it's already that time of the season where, if you want to keep it to about 4 losses for the season, the Bulls have to sort of run the table now.
Very interesting is how sides start approaching the rest of their season because with European rugby starting, like, are you going to focus on it? Are you going to semi give it a try, make the knockouts? And if things are going well in your domestic competition, try and give it a tonk on both ends? I don't know. I think this loss, and it was at Loftus as well, which is quite something. I didn't even take my own advice. I hardly watched it, like especially when I saw the Bulls go ahead the way they did in the first half. So sorry, Ringo. I apologize. I was wrong. And then I saw the final result, and then when I watched the highlights, I was like, oh, it's not making sense. It didn't make sense how it happened, and it's weird. How does Johan Ackermann deal with the rest of the season now? Because honestly, I think the Bulls making the semi-finals is mandatory, and I think then he almost has to make the final. But I kind of want to give teams a little bit of wiggle room because once you reach the semi-final, you are up against pretty solid opposition, like who potentially may have been working you out. Because the Bulls, there's a good chance you're going to face the Bulls and you're going to face Leinster, and then Stormers, Glasgow, Munster are also in the mix. Like, so you'll spend a lot of time analyzing them through the season and trying to prepare for them and stuff. So I almost feel like it's mandatory that they make the final and potentially go on and win it. So, like, is Uckers just take this on the chin and just be like, listen, my old team got one over me, or maybe he's like, that's for you guys. I still love you, but I'm going to focus on my real job. I don't know. I don't know how it works because the rest of the season is going to be interesting. If fans and the European teams and fans are going to be moaning about you sending unrestricted sides to the Champions Cup, but then you go on and win the URC, I think like they'll take that. Like they don't really care. So interesting times moving forward. And I say the same for the Stormers. Like, what are they going to do now? Do they run the risk of burning out their players in the Champions Cup for 2 weeks? And then, like, when are they going to give that rest? Is it Champions Cup rest? Is it the derbies during December? It's very interesting how we juggle this. And the European sides have had many years of practice, and it's going to be fun. The new setup of the Champions Cup allows you to get a little bit of wiggle room and allow you to falter in the beginning or in the end, but obviously not the whole way.
Also, think also
I mean, it's just your control.
So also think also the Bulls also the frustrating one of obviously. I mean, first game back from a few weeks on tour again. Some sides sort of come back better than others. I don't think it's frustrating if you're a Blue Bulls fan because you're probably thinking, geez, we're gonna get one of these derbies in and sort of, especially if you're at home and like you want to get these derby wins in so you stack them up, especially if you're at home. But the Lions, it's such an enigma because But also, like the funny thing, we had Jog Free on our Dream Team show, and he said that even on tour, they are two or three, two or three mistakes away from winning two more games on tour because they are a young side. But now they seem to sort of have gotten that to click because when they play, I mean, the Ulster and the Bulls game is two good wins. I think as a Ringo and Lions fan would say, they can see the potential. The potential is there, but now I think all they ask for is consistency. I mean, I still think the Bulls will be fine. Um, to tell you know, as a Bulls fan, the last few years there's been a recipe for the Bulls to just not to sort of lose games where they just like instead of closing the game out, they're trying to score they want to win 40, 43, 44. And you're like, guys, let's just win 3-2-10 as opposed to getting more tries. And the Lions obviously would love nothing when they're running the ball. So I think the Bulls will be fine. I'm not too concerned about them. I think that there's also quality to come back. So I think it'll be fine.
Yeah, the Bulls have conceded more than 21 points in each of their games this season. Yeah, like the lowest that they've had is 21 against Glasgow, but pretty much everyone is scoring at least 4 tries against the Bulls. That's except for the Glasgow game. So the defense is a problem. I mean, this weekend both teams were at 67% tackle success rate. So yeah, I don't know. Look, it is November in the high felt. I can't imagine anything worse than trying to play rugby in those conditions. But yeah, something needs to be done because if the Bulls have serious aspirations to win a title and everything, like those games need to happen. So I wonder what's going to be the approach this weekend. Obviously, you have Springboks coming back. You have, Champions Cup. Like the Bulls I mean, we'll talk about the other team, but like you would think the Bulls have the squad for it. I don't know if I would even say the Storms probably don't. I'd say the Bulls probably do. Like we know, and we'll talk about Champions Cup now. If you don't finish top of your group, you're already behind because if you have to go to France or to Ireland or England for a knockout game, it's late for you. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the teams do in the next few weeks. But I worry that this loss kind of confirms that the Bulls are gonna kind of half-ass the Champions Cup and kind of focus more on on the URC. Look, Lions have put themselves in a good position. So look, it's basically now the SA derbies until February, March. So for the Lions, if they can try to get 3, even 4 of the 6 SA derby games, this puts them in a good position to go all the way. Like we know they don't have the depth; they'll lose players over the course of the season, but they just need to just keep themselves in the fight, and hopefully they can get through at the end. Like they just really need to build on these games, and they've now gotten at least one away SA derby win. So win your derby games at home. Keep on winning pretty much every other home game. 10 wins has been enough to get you into the playoffs in the URC most seasons. So that's, I think, what the goal is should be for them. So let's hope that they can continue with this. Let's hope this win wasn't for nothing, at least from a Bulls perspective. Shaun, I think Kooks has told me in his new contract that he can't talk about the Sharks anymore. So Shaun, you'll have to be on you. You need a better agent, so you can also have a contract like that. But they lost 44 points to 17 to Connacht. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's much else to be said apart from that.
No, you've said it all. I'm gonna pull I forget his name now. Brendan Fenter interview.
Yes.
Brendan, when he was at Saracens. I'm gonna pull one of those.
3 cheers for Siri Bobo.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, like there's really nothing you can say. Like
3 cheers.
they were shit.
3 cheers for Connacht. The last thing, Sharks fan, I mean, the hope is, nice little bounce back game, go across to Toulouse. A very average rugby side of the Sharks. If you look at the bounce back in Toulouse, I mean, they tend to not do well in the Champions Cup as of the Toulouse side, especially at home. They're not a good outfit at home. So if you're a Sharks fan, this is how you bounce back. I mean, you're probably thinking to yourself, like, where do we go from here? And like, there's a guy they have, I think his name is Antoine Dupont. He came back on the weekend. So they look good as well. We got a try assist. So he comes back. Roman Intermark is also quite fit. Yeah, so like, I mean, basically there's no Jason Malia, so at least there's some rest up, but Ange Couple also gets back from a little break. Yeah, so as a Sharks fan, to be honest with the Champions Cup, and I mean, we got a great record in the Champions Cup as well. We got knocked out by Toulouse a few years ago, but I mean, so I mean, we got good experience in Toulouse. So it's just positive. It's positive thoughts. And then the nice thing after that, I mean, the last time we played in France, Damian scored 6 tries, and the best thing we did was make sure he didn't score 8. So I just feel like as a Sharks fan, there's such confidence in us going to France. And we lost 44-14 to Connacht, but who doesn't lose 44-14 to Connacht these days? So our Boks come back. So hopefully the Boks come back, Champions Cup. So for me, I'm very optimistic about this weekend, as you can tell. Just I don't feel like this Toulouse side. I mean, you can get off with them. I mean, they've probably lost I can't remember when last they've lost their home game. But again, that's why we play rugby for, to change these perceptions. Is Toulouse favorites to win the Champions Cup? Yes. Are the Sharks favorites get knocked out first? Yes. So I feel like we can change that. I mean, like, you're probably hoping like is Toulouse going to maybe rest some players? No, because they want to finish first and points different matters. Did I see Toulouse last year put 70 and Leicester Tigers away from home? Of course I did. So why am I not? This is the nice thing as a Sharks fan. And then after the Toulouse game, we come back with Saracens in town. So yeah, Faz is going to be in town. It's going to be just it's exactly where you want to be as a Sharks fan. This is exactly what it be. We don't have a coach at the moment. Our coach is leaving at the end of the season. It's going to be a thing. Where else would you want to be? I mean, our locks might be banned for 12 weeks. Eben Etzebeth. Where else would you not want to be as a Sharks fan than right now? This is exactly what you signed up for. This is exactly what we have signed up for. Who cares about winning games? Hey, I don't. But guess what? It's Dupont against the Sharks. Yeah. See us take a picture with Dupont. It's going to go viral. It's going to be great. It's going to hug. It's good to see you, bro. And we'll be like, oh, Dupont's going to be back on our screens. Yeah, I mean, what can go wrong this weekend? I mean, like, have I seen the Sharks being embarrassed in France before? Yes, against Bordeaux. But Bordeaux is the defending champs. They're the defending champs. And Toulouse, I told you, they're not good in Europe. I told you this. They're not good in Europe. So we should be fine. It's exactly what we want. If you lose to Connacht 44-14, the first game I want is to lose away from home, and then Saracens in Durban. That's how I'd love to bounce back. Like, I want Bordeaux the week after that as well. That's exactly how I want us to structure this comeback. I mean, if any team in the world I want to play right now, it's to lose away from home. That's exactly what I want to play. That's exactly what I want. Because I'm not watching rugby this weekend. I'm not going to watch that game. I'm not available. Don't ask me about it. I'm only watching the show of the Six Nations. Sharks don't exist to me anymore. I'll talk about the South Sharks any day of the week.
Yeah. That might hit Mazzotti at his heart, actually. Like you acknowledge the sales Sharks before you acknowledge the Hollywood bet Sharks. I think that's the thing that he cares about the most in this world, is that they are the real Sharks too.
It's like, yeah, new resolution as well. I don't talk about Scotland anymore as well. No more talk about Scotland. No more. And so, guys, we can pull the same thing we said in episodes about the Sharks and Scotland. No more. No more.
Yeah, so Kooks is dealing with the loss well. You can sort of summarize it in that way. In terms of other results in the URC, very quickly, we have Ulster thrashed Benetton 47 points to 13. I think Benetton might be also in Kooks' list. The plucky Leinster team, they won 24 points to 10 against the Dragons. Quick pause. What the hell was that non-red card?
Yo. That was Scott Penny. There's actually so much to talk about this weekend.
Yeah.
I also want to talk about Peter Aki, by the way, when we get into the top 14. But everything that happened in red cards and not red cards and stuff, basically Scott Penny did. And then they've gone upstairs. So I didn't see it live, but I believe they went upstairs to review it. And then it was like, that's play on or penalty only.
No penalty. So
yeah, basically, play on. What?
So Penny puts a shoulder into the Dragon's carrier. There's also actually another chicken wing shoulder from Dini, actually, that sort of gets missed there. Now, I don't know what and why, but basically the officials pretty much took themselves out of it being foul play. They took themselves out of it being any sort of penalizable offense, and they go like, "Oh, there was an attempt to wrap." I'm like, "Cool." The one arm, maybe there's an attempt to wrap. How about the other arm that is cocked back and trying to put a shoulder in? Two, there's still head contact. It's not a rugby incident. Like there's no way to sort of get around and get away from that. Three, okay, you can say there's all these defenses. It's still at least a penalty. I genuinely don't know how that is not a penalty. It should at the very minimum be a yellow card. I
If it's a
felt like it was,
penalty, it's a card. And is that maybe what made them chicken out?
I don't know. I genuinely don't know. Like this is the most confused I've been at a decision in a while. I like also now because we can hear everything, obviously in the TV, you're just like, wait, how did you get like we can hear your reasoning. You got from here to there, and there was no road there. You just sort of teleported to another conclusion. So yeah, I don't know. Like I think it was a genuinely farcical decision there, and yeah, I'm trying refs. I don't want to be that guy, but this was a terrible performance. And it was even like Shaun, we talked about even with the Mostert one where the TMO kind of sold the ref down the river by saying, look, he saw head contact. This was the ref saying this, and then it felt like everyone just all kind of agreed with each other, and then people saying, yeah, I don't think there was a rugby incident. Yeah, no, I feel like he was rapping. Yeah, it wasn't always foul play. And I was just like, you've made this very complicated. But I think this is also, I mean, this is a consequence of just there's all this confusion and pressure on head contact incidents now. And we are all, I think we've put our poor refs, especially like obviously these are like more junior refs, but we put them in knots and they are now, I guess, somewhat scared to make those big calls, but also just somewhat just not, they don't know now what to look for. So yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know what to say to that. And I mean, at the time, I think the game was still in the balance. Like Dragons could have actually won that. So yeah, I know
Leinster were under pressure for large parts of that game.
yeah, I know Kooks being our proudest Welsh supporter is very disappointed that the Dragons couldn't get that win there. So I know he's very heartbroken about that. But
Very, very, very. But Dan, I was speaking about this. Like, why can't the Welsh team get these big calls in big games? Like, we can't change the landscape of Welsh rugby. We're not getting these calls. But I mean, oh no, Leinster not getting a big call. Oh, big call go Leinster's way. Oh no, I'm so shocked. Now,
this won't help
to be fair,
the Leinster allegations.
I want Leinster to win all the games until they play in SSI because I'm so
In
sick
the
of,
knockouts.
like yeah, I'm so sick and tired of Leinster losing and then Jogging never gets like when Leinster loses, all of a sudden Leo Cullen doesn't exist anymore. And it's just all Jogging and then when they win, Jogging is just nowhere to be seen. It's all Leo Cullen. So there are choose one.
Yeah. That is honestly, that is one of the biggest conundrums the South Africans face is that. Like we want Arge to have a big game and we want the defense to hold up and the attack to be amazing because of Jacques, but then we also want them to lose. So I suppose maybe we can just put that on the ref. Leinster could do everything right and then the ref must be to blame. I can't believe I put that out there. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, good news for you, Kooks, and for Welsh fans. Cardiff are still blasting through the URC. They won 29 points to 14 against Zebre. They are second on the log. Yeah, second on the log right now, 2 points behind the Stormers. So they are very much in the hunt right now. Like, yeah, I think they're getting things together. And I mean, look, a lot of the Wales teams had to go deep into their squads for these games because of the game that happened in the Principality this weekend. So it's quite an impressive win. Edinburgh beat Ospreys 19 points to 17. Yeah, I mean, Ospreys had people that they were calling up, I think, the day or two before and like club players. So Sean Everett, My guy, I don't know. I just don't know. And I feel like Edinburgh fans are tearing their hair out because this team sort of really underperforms, except when Darcy Grant decides to perform because it's a team he can get 6 tries against. But I'll Cooks has his Scotland slander. I have my Darcy Grant slander. And then finally, Scarlets beat Glasgow 23 points to nil. That was a bit of a surprise. Like, we don't expect that from Glasgow. So,
Glasgow, when Glasgow go wrong, they go wrong hard. Like it happened last year as well.
yeah,
Like when they miss big time. Like it's not like it was a close miss. You know what I mean? It's like they were completely blindfolded.
yeah.
Bizarre.
I kind
So
of
strange.
prefer that. Like, lose big, so we don't have to talk about this. We don't have to blame referees. We don't have to sort of do a deep analysis. We just go, you're a crap on the day, and we can just all move on. So maybe that's better for everyone. But pretty much the log has the Stormers on top. You have Cardiff, Munster, and Ulster finishing up the top four. Then in the rest of the top eight, it's Glasgow, Leinster, the Lions, and the Bulls. And I won't tell you where the Sharks are in that log, just for everyone's benefit.
No,
Very
please.
quickly,
Shows that we don't play rugby for log points anymore. Log position. No, no. We just play Euro
Play for
City.
vibes.
Play Euro City, give guys a chance. Apparently, if you get in the top eight, you play in the quarterfinals, but we haven't figured that part out yet. But we're just here for vibes.
I mean, you're giving youngsters like George Whitehead debut, so that's great as
Yeah,
well.
bring George in.
Where did George Whitehead just pop up from?
Yeah, but bring
I'm
Georgia
sorry.
back. Bring Georgia back to Durban, Currie Cup winner. Bring him back to Durbs. You give Pepsi a run, Vince Chuka. Come on, man.
They have the same conversations because both the Sharks and the Griquas beat the Lions in the Currie Cup. So there's like similarity there. Listen, I just want to say I am so happy for George Whitehead. Like,
Yeah.
I won't lie. When I saw him, I was like, there's something wrong here. I've missed something. Don't know what's
There
going
is something
on.
wrong, to be fair.
And yeah, and then he went on. I'm so happy for him. It's a pity, like it's the Sharks. Like he might be playing URC and not get a win ever, you know. There's that, but I hope he does. I hope he goes on to have an incredible season.
Yeah. Interesting, the Sharks just have some decent youngsters that they are giving minutes to. I mean, the Lucid Gagnanes, I think in his 20s. You have the loose forward Matt Romano. I think he was in the S under 20s this
Yeah.
year. Panda was on the bench. Like, yeah, so at least something right is happening there. Like, that's
You must be careful to say that. You can't say that. Like something right. Haven't they been involved in Currie Cup final, under 20 Currie Cup finals and under 18 Currie Cup finals and winning for a while? Like there was always something good happening. They had a
yeah.
great setup with the clubs, with everyone around there, with Rovers and all that. Like there was always vibes and it was coming through. They had great youth setup. You can't say that because it should have come through now.
My bad, my bad. Sean, let's quickly on the Prem. I think you did watch Saracens Bath in detail. I think you had some thoughts there.
Yeah, so I watched that game last night. What a cracking game. I tell you, Saracens came out cooking. They really did, and they took a pretty decent lead. What they were doing is they were really operating. So they had Farrell at 10 and they had Daly at 15, and they were literally just going wide every time, and just obviously alternating who was coming in at playmaker and stuff like that. So there was, excuse me, a very clear plan for them to expose Bath on the fringes, which they did. And the first try they scored was incredible. And then halftime came. Bath made a little bit of a comeback. Like I think there's no doubt about it. If Bath don't win the Prem this year again, something bad happened because
Mhm.
they just seem to have the better players, the better squad, the better plans all through it. They really do. Bath came out of at halftime. Halftime was the best time for them, best sort of period in the game for them to kind of get stuff together, and they clearly changed their plans. Add that to the fact that perhaps Saracens just ran a little bit out of gas. But yeah, massive win. A 5-point win at StoneX is huge for anyone.
Yeah.
And Bath needed it. Yeah, they really are looking good. Saracens are looking pretty handy. Owen Farrell had a pretty decent game. Nick Tompkins had a good game. McFarland back and doing his usual stuff. Uh, Forget his name. Kalore, the youngster on the wing. That kid is big, man. He's like tall, like really big. And their plan was just basically to send it up to him, and every time it was just jumping up and tapping it back. Like he's a bit of a talent. So yeah, Bath looking fantastic. It was a great game to watch.
Yeah. Very quickly, other wins. Exeter beat Sale 27-26. Leicester beat Newcastle 39-17. Gloucester beat Harlequins 26-15. And the Bears beat Northampton 46 points to 12. Very quickly, also on the top 14. I mean, I think the big headlines, Antoine Dupont is back, a player that some Sharks fans will get to know this weekend. And Toulouse beat Racing 48-24. I mean, every home team won. This was becoming the most classical top 14 season in a while, where it's just home teams winning their games. You are not going to win away from home. But Shaun, yeah, two other weird red cards happened in these games. So first, Racing, Jack Turret, I don't know what got into his head. I don't know if he has some beef with Elias from Toulouse, but he just pretty much Zinedine Zidane him into the chest.
It's exactly what he did. He got a little bit of a run up there, right? It wasn't.
Yes.
He was almost at the ruck, and this other dude was standing kind of behind last man's feet. So there was like a good half a meter that he got some propulsion, and he hit him right in the solar plexus, man, right up there under the diaphragm. Ooh, it's a bit bizarre. Straight red. Take your medicine, bud.
It's not even he tried. It's not like he was even like, okay, like with Ryan, you can kind of say, okay, he was kind of trying to clean. This was something has happened between these two. Maybe they were in the Espoirs together. Maybe, I don't know. Like maybe there's like a family rivalry. Who knows? But he literally ran up, went Superman head first, and just flew into this man's chest. Like, and it hit him hard. Like in the slow-mos, you can see like pretty much spittle just coming out of Elias's mouth. Like it was a genuine collision. So
And
yeah.
then you winded and you're lying there fighting for your life as you like breathing through a straw.
I don't know what in the world happened there. So also just quick note, Matthias Remu, he was the star for Belgium in this World Cup qualifying campaign. He signed with Toulouse. Just another international fullback that Toulouse has. So yeah, they don't have Malia for the rest of the season, but they still have another international fullback. So that's, I think, 4 international fullbacks they have in total. Well, wait, it's Remu, it's Malia, it's Kinghorn, it's Capuot, so it's Ramos. So 5. That's Toulouse is ridiculous.
Gotta make up for the terrible freaking midfielder they got in Costes.
I don't know what Costas did to you. Shaun, did you have a Peter key point you wanted to make?
Yeah, I want to cry. Love this oak. I don't know why. I've always loved Peter Archie. Like I just rate him. And then the more we watched Toulouse, like started realizing how important he is for them and how much he did for them. And then he announced his retirement. I think he's signed for the Blues again, so
Yeah.
he's going back home. But the end of his contract was this weekend. It
Oh,
was his final game for Toulouse this
oh no.
weekend. And there are a couple of guys were up for media this weekend, this week leading up to the game, and a few guys broke down. Like, it's very clear that Peter Archie is a very much loved member of that squad and old boy, and he's just looked after everyone. Yeah, the Kiwi side of Toulouse performed a haka for him at the end of the game to say thank you. He had a chance to kick a conversion, he missed it. Like it was a proper send off, but such an interesting one halfway through the season. But I'm gonna miss watching him in the top 14. I am. I'm a massive fan, and I really feel that him not being there matters for Toulouse.
Mm.
It's going to take a while to fill that gap. Um, just experience. He's a glue guy. He played 12 and 13. He came off the bench to cover. He's played on wing before. Like he really managed a lot of problems with in being one body, which I think Toulouse may have to use a couple of bodies to fix. But they have an unlimited budget.
Look, to be fair to Toulouse, before we cry for them, they still have Santi Chocobares, Barassi. Gorges has come out of nowhere. Obviously, he's now a potential talent there as well. Your favorite Costes is also an option. So
he's leaving, thank God.
Let's not cry for them too much. But yeah, big shout out to Peter Aki. I mean, yeah, it'll be interesting to see him back in Super Rugby next season. So yeah, it'll be nice to
imagine how well the Blues are going to play now that they don't have Rico and they gained Peter Aki. I mean, what a time to be alive.
I was waiting.
Just when you thought, yeah, Leicester could get even more unlikable, they signed Rico Ioane. So
he's playing this weekend. He'll make his Champions Cup debut this weekend. He must score 3 tries, and then people won't talk about Jogging Nova anyway.
Yeah, very quickly, Antoine Astoy also found himself with got himself a red card in the first minute of the game. Basically, going up for a high ball. Then the leg was out, doing a Shawn Michaels impression. Gets a red card. Then he gets, his coach then comes onto the field to try and remonstrate with the referee and Ronan.
Not his coach, Ronan O'Gara. Mr. I have been banned as a coach in the top 14 at least more times than I have fingers on one hand.
I think that's what the top 14, that's what banning coach are doing on the sidelines. Like, okay, you guys go back upstairs to the boxes.
I'm so happy he's in the top 14 because we would never have seen this side of Ronald Garfield in the URC because he'd have to be upstairs. Like
he's thrown punches and taken punches. Like
he's almost fought other coaches. Like I don't care what the LNR don't ban this man. We need him there. He's box office. We need him there. It's absolutely cinematic. Just let Ronald Gar cook. La Rochelle, please don't fire this man. Like, we need him on the sidelines.
Okay, picture this. 2028, Christmas Day, Interpro, Munster, Leinster. Johnny Sexton, head coach of Leinster. Ronan O'Gara, head coach of Munster. Haymakers coming over. Eben Etzebeth is playing for Munster. He starts a scuffle with, I don't know, Paul O'Connell. That would be, and then Ronan Raj is coming over throwing haymakers at Sexton.
This is why they actually need to both be in France because you can't do this when you're in coaching boxes. You need to be on the field. They need to be chirping each other. Sexton needs to get to Russing or something and coach them.
Bring it. Bring it on.
This. But yeah, so all home games, all home team won. In the sevens, New Zealand, both in the men's and women's, beat Australia in the finals. So they win the first sevens round of the series. So yeah, very good. South Africa lost in the quarterfinals, if I'm not mistaken, right? So they, I think, got 5th place at the end. So yeah, good start with that. New Zealand, the New Zealand women's sevens team is just ridiculous. They just go pretty much all those women that were at the World Cup come back to sevens. So now it's Waka, it's Georgia Miller being crazy. So yeah, it's just a cheat code basically that they have.
Like, yeah, there's like
Stacey Waka.
Yeah, Stacey. Even Georgia Miller now is like, it's hard to stop with 15 players in the field. And good luck with the same size field, but like now you have 60 defenders as opposed to 7 as opposed to 15. Good luck.
I genuinely don't know what you can do to the New Zealanders. Like Australia, you've had a great run as like the top of the women's sevens game. I think that is over. These New Zealand women are now going to be scorned from the 15s World Cup and taking names everywhere. So yeah, this weekend it's in Cape Town. So yeah, very something definitely to get out to if you have tickets for that. Cool, guys. Let's very quickly preview the Champions Cup. So European Champions Cup, for those that are not aware, this is pretty much the Champions League of rugby. It's the best of the best. You have 8 teams from each of the 3 competitions, 8 from the top 14, 8 out of the 10 remaining teams in the Prem, and 8 teams from the URC as well. They duke it out. They're in 4 groups, and then they get to the knockouts, last 16 and onwards. The Sharks are in Pool A. They are with Toulouse, Clermont, Saracens, Glasgow, and Sale Sharks. The Stormers are in Pool 3. They are with Leinster, Leicester Tigers, Harlequins, La Rochelle, and Bayonne. And the Bulls are with Bordeaux, Scarlets, Bristol, Pau, and Saints. So very quickly, we can preview the three pools. So in terms of the URC teams in Pool 1, the Sharks in Glasgow. Glasgow, we said earlier, they're 5th in the URC. The Sharks are at 14th. The top 14 sides, Toulouse are top of the log. Clermont are doing pretty decently, to be fair, but pretty much everyone in the top 14 except for Montauban and Perpignan have at least 5 out of 11 wins. So I guess everyone's doing decently. And then in the Prem, you have Saracens and Sale. Sale doing decently. Saracens are kind of coming back. Shaun, this is, I mean, on the Sharks' perspective, I don't know where they get easy games. I guess Clermont's going to bring their under 13s to Durban, so that's one game. Saracens take it seriously, so they'll bring their first team. They have to go to Sale and they have to go to Toulouse. I'm not sure where they get the wins here. Like, they kind of have to bank on winning the home games.
Well, it's going to be like 2 years ago because they're not doing the business in the URC. So they have to win a European competition in order to qualify for the Champions Cup next year. So they're going to finish bottom of their pool, get drafted into the Challenge Cup and go on a massive surge there. We've seen the story. That's what's going to happen. The Sharks are in a little bit of trouble. Like, they have to, if they don't bag good points at home, they're going to be in big trouble because Clermont is the key one. Like, if you don't get yourself up for that game and really take 5 points home, you can't put pressure on anyone else. Like, if a side knows that they're going to play you and all they need to do is earn 1 losing bonus point out of the game, then it doesn't matter. The Sharks, like, they're not going to propose much of a threat in that way. It is a tough pool for the Sharks. Very, very tough. And like, the only way it happens is if they surprise people. If they come away with, let's say they come away with 2 points this weekend against Toulouse, like if they get a couple of 2 point like losses, they're going to be in a decent space and obviously win their home games. But as easy as this new format is, the Sharks are under pressure.
Yeah. Shaun, I think you might be right. They need to aim for 5th so they can qualify for the Challenge Cup and make a run there. Like, it doesn't look good for them to do a big thing in the top 14. I mean, in the Champions Cup. Yeah, I mean, Kooks, from what it sounds like, it sounds like the Sharks are going to do like a 2-squad split thing for this competition, or at least for these first 2 games. So I think, there's some players that have flown back to Durban. So, yeah, I don't know how that helps you to try and stop, a Toulouse team.
No, I don't know. It's not the start you want. Yeah, I agree with Shark. I think they won 1 game, to be honest with you. I think it's Clermont. I mean, I just think, I think Saracens might be too strong for them in Durban. But again, Shark, like you said, like that's the big one because Toulouse is very hard to be Toulouse in France. You want to stack for your home games and then sort of try and like someone like Toulouse, they're eyeing up finishing top of that pool. They're eyeing up their home court, their home playoff. That's their big mission. And I just, like you said, like with Glasgow, Sale, it's hard for them to see the Sharks getting another win. That's a frustrating part, especially the way they're playing now.
Yeah. Shaun, which 2 teams do you think aren't qualifying from this group?
The 2 teams with SH in their name.
The 2 Sharks.
Yeah, the 2 Sharks. It's really tough looking at that. Listen, I'll be honest. I do think our Sharks are probably the least favorite and followed by Clermont. And then Clermont and Sale are fighting that bit out for that other spot. I think. That's just how it looks for me.
Clermont were decent, I mean, last season. They were also in a similar group. I think they got themselves to the quarterfinals. So, like,
Yeah, but they also can fumble it. Like if they take a pasting against Saracens this weekend, which to be honest could happen the way Saracens played, if they
Mm,
just polish a few things, if they take a pasting and they get it in their head that okay, let's focus on the top 14 and maybe the Challenge Cup. Like if they get in their head early after week one, then then they really will kind of crumble because they're a bit weird like that, the French sides. Like it's Toulouse, Toulon, like all those sides with massive squads. Like I'm talking about Toulon of the past, and that massive squads that can do it. Toulouse can go through this whole tournament but be competitive at the top 14 and the Champions Cup.
yeah,
There's almost no other French side that could really go great guns on both ends. They've got to make a decision somewhere.
yeah. Cooks, your two teams dropping out?
I think it's gonna be Clermont, and then my heart, as much as my head says Sale Sharks, my heart's gonna go. So my heart is saying that the Sharks are going to qualify, Durban Sharks. So yeah, I think Sale Sharks and come on, I'm gonna believe,
Yeah.
and then we're gonna play
I
Bordeaux in the quarterfinal, and we're gonna believe again.
I actually literally see it being Sharks get fourth. They're kind of disappointed to get fourth because they could have been in the Challenge Cup. They get Bordeaux in the last 16 in
Yeah,
Bordeaux, and it's like a 65-25 type of like loss. So yeah. Um
pretty much.
I yeah, I think Clermont, I think the Durban trip kind of puts Clermont off this off making a run in the Champions Cup because they're just going to be like, there's no point in us
Mm.
sending people for that one. And yeah, that then they also have to win in Saracens. I don't see it. So yeah, I think the Clermont and the Sale Sharks are the ones that fall out of that group. Pool two has Bath, Toulon, Munster, Cust, Edinburgh, and Gloucester. So yeah, I mean, I guess the big threat in this group is Bath. They, especially from last season, being the Prem champions, they're clearly the best side in the Prem right now. Shaun, yeah, I mean, you're the resident Bath fan. Like this seems to be the season where Bath needs to make like a semi-final run at the very least.
Yeah, I think they've got the squad to do it. And obviously having won the premiership, like they managed to do it, so that's kind of secured. So now they can fight on both sides. Um, I it's going to be quite interesting. But I look at this pool two, and I'm just like, how do we not have a South African side in that one? Like it would be really nice,
Yeah.
you know. It's so yeah, and instead we dumped with like so many champions and whatnot. But Bath have what it takes to go all the way. The the thing is, it's quite early now, but this win against Saracens was really important for them to stay in touch because remember, it's only the four sides that qualify for the semi-finals of the Premiership. The
Yeah.
Premiership don't have an elongated like playoff section, so it's quite important if they can build up enough points moving forward. They'll be able to then throw their name in the hat properly for the Champions Cup. Um, they, if they had to play, let's say they could play Leinster or Toulouse are probably the favorites for the Champions Cup final in like say a period like relatively soon. I think Bath could put up a shout in a semi-final against one of them, and then the final could go either way. You know, if you get Toulouse at home, which is unlikely, that would be a big shot. But Bath have got enough to disrupt the sides a little bit. Um, so yes, in theory, I think they can. They've got what it takes to make the final, but it's all depends on how the rest of their Premiership life goes leading up to those knockouts.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think this could be the strongest group in terms of just everyone, how they're performing at the moment. So you've got Munster that are in the top four, Edinburgh's at 10th. You've got Bath, obviously top of the Prem. Gloucester, actually the underperformers there at 9th. And then Castro, I think just 8th or 9th at the moment, and Toulon's in the top four. So I think on average, it's a pretty strong performing group. Um, Bath, yeah, I mean, I think they have to go away to Toulon, so that's probably a big disadvantage for their hopes to top the group. Cooks, in terms of the two teams falling out, I'm probably spying Edinburgh and Gloucester.
Yeah, I'm in Edinburgh, and yeah, it's kind of hard to look past, but I think Edinburgh and Gloucester. I've actually got as much as I think Bath. I mean, if there's ever a time for them to top their pool, is this one. I think my big call. I think Munster's going to top that pool.
Ah,
Oof, yeah.
yeah.
Castro are definitely in the conversation to be in the bottom two. The problem is they've just shown every year they've shown in Europe or in the top 14 that they've just got a 9-6 dog game in them where they just piss the opposition off and fight through and manage to come through as like preconceived underdogs into a game and then just played scrappy rugby and won it. So yeah, I think Edinburgh Gloucester, good shout.
Yeah. Toulon, I think good news for them is that they host both Bath and Munster.
Massive,
So I think that's a
massive.
big advantage for them. We know, I mean, Toulon, they should never be counted out. I think they're probably in the top 4 or 5 teams in this competition. So they were very close to beating Toulouse in that quarterfinal. So they know the importance of topping this group. Bath, yeah, Bath are hosting Munster this week, then they go to Toulon next week. So this will be a very much approving of Bath to see if they are in that sort of top bracket of European rugby right now. So yeah, the big matches to look forward to there. The next pool is on with the Stormers. So they're joined by Leinster from the URC team. So yeah, Stormers obviously top of the URC. Leinster are in the top 6. Well, they're 6th at the moment. Then you have Leicester Tigers and Harlequins. Yeah, Harlequins actually doing pretty well this season. Tigers are sort of in that middle group, and then La Rochelle near the bottom, but they've also won 5 games, so I don't think there's too much to panic then. Bayonne are there as well. Shaun, I mean, this is also quite an interesting group because even Bayonne, historically, people would think they might be the easy game. They've been really good the last season and a bit in top 14. They were in the semi-finals last season. They have some really good overseas players. I think Montoya is joining them this weekend as well. They won't be an easy game. I don't really see who's the sort of whipping boys of this group.
Yeah, it's interesting. It all depends. It all hinges on who Bayonne are playing at home.
Yeah.
That's kind of how their Champions Cup is gonna be dictated. Um, if they play a couple of big guys at home and they secure some good points or some wins, they're able to scrap for a couple of bonus point losses here and there, perhaps a draw. So I kind of think it all hinges on that. But it's a tough pool, actually. It's not going to be a walkover. I'm going to jump the gun. I'm going to say that both the French sides finish 5 and 6.
Oh, even La Rochelle. Wow, that'll be a big one. I mean, La Rochelle have to go to Cape Town, so they're the unlucky losers that have to make the trek there. Yeah, I can't fight you too hard on that because La Rochelle's form has been iffy, but you would think they're kind of like in the Sharks zone of this is now the time for you to really get up and for you to get going with your season. But I mean, they need to also make points back with the top 14 side as well. So yeah, I don't know about that. Like it's very much feasible. And then on the English side, of course, we know Harlequins has been dangerous the last few years. They can beat anyone when they really sort of like get things together. I don't know if they're as strong as they were maybe a few years ago. I think Northampton's maybe stolen their shine a bit. But Harlequins, they've them and Leicester, like they're not easy games to face as well.
No, definitely not. I mean, Harlequins, I mean, they're such a perfect Champions Cup side because no, they can just turn it on and then you blink and then they put 30 points on you. I mean, Leinster, I think obviously it's the one competition they want. I mean, they've got the top, I mean, they got the URC. It's the one they have been waiting for years to. It's all the final hurdle, semi-finals last year. I would love for oh man, if there's ever a time where Stormers are built, it's now. I mean, the top two is probably if you're a Stormers fan, what you're hoping for. I mean, I just the Leinster one. Where does Stormers play Leinster away from home?
I'm actually trying to see that. Leinster this weekend are hosting Harlequins. Then next weekend they're at Tigers, and then in January they host La Rochelle, obviously their annual match now, and then they have to go to
Yeah,
Bayonne. So
sure. It's such a hard one because this pool three is ridiculous because any one of these sides can. But I think the Stormers for me is they'll get through, and I think La Rochelle and I think Leicester will miss out.
yeah, I mean, I think it's good for Leinster. The matches that they're going away for, I think, are the more manageable away games. So Tigers, I mean, yeah, they're obviously not rebuilding, but like they're new coach, new players, so it's relatively like decent there. They don't have to go away to La Rochelle. I mean, they've got their number now, but they don't have to face those demons. So yeah, it's Bayonne. Bayonne's still tough, but I think it's probably preferable going there. So I think Bayonne are in. I think Leinster are in. I will go Harlequins and La Rochelle are out.
Oh, La Rochelle getting heat from all three of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just I think the draw is just not working for them. I'm choosing from the French teams who has to go to South Africa, and are you serious about the Champions Cup? I mean, La Rochelle are serious about the Champions Cup, but obviously they have some fires at home to put out as well. And yeah, I just think in terms of the English teams, I think Tigers seem a bit more well-rounded for this competition right now. But yeah, I mean, between Harlequins and Leicester, I think they'll kind of be the one sort of competing for fourth. The Stormers, I think, are in a good position. Like they'll go to Bayonne, they have a winning run. It'll be a tough game. If they lose, I don't think there's any shame in that. But you expect them to pick up a point there. You expect them to win their two home games against Tigers and La Rochelle. And then you expect them to at least get some points against Harlequin. So that should be enough for second or third. So yeah, I think this is quite an interesting group. Finally, you have the defending champions in Bordeaux. They're joined by Pau, who are second in the top 14 right now. So they've been obviously in fantastic form. I think it's their first time in the competition as well. So they really exciting side, lots of attacking talent. Like I think they'll do really well. Then the English sides, you've got Bristol and Northampton. Obviously, Northampton were the losing finalists. So we've got Bordeaux versus Northampton to look forward to. So Henry Pollock against the people that hate Henry Pollock the most. And then you've got Scarlets versus Bulls. So this is such a vibes group because it feels like every one of these teams in this group, they aim to score 50 points when they play games. So, Bordeaux love a bit of vibes. Scarlets throw the ball around. Bristol throw the ball around. Par throws the ball around. The Bulls like winning 45 to 44, and Northampton don't mind that as well. So, Shaun, this is the points difference pool.
Yeah, that's a great one. A points, a little PD pool. It's going to be interesting. It's so weird, like us coming to terms with the Champions Cup. Like as a whole, it doesn't mean as much for us. There are a lot of fans, like I've been watching it for years and years, but the Champions Cup and the Challenge Cup have a lot of new South African fans, like if we're honest about it. So it's really difficult to kind of see, and we don't really know how teams are going to approach it and how they're going to deal with it. The one way with this format is you are able to slip up and then still scrape in, and then you get to play the knockouts and deal with it then. So yeah, it's going to be fun. I think Bordeaux dominate this pool. I really think they do. And I'm actually going to say Bordeaux Saints is going to be 1-2. And then, yeah, I think Scarlets are in the bottom two. And it's between Pau and Bristol. But I'm going to go Pau.
Yeah, I think I agree with that, Shaun. Like, also, I mean, Bordeaux are coming to Pretoria, but they're a team that takes this seriously. So it's going to be the first team players. They played the Bulls last year in Pretoria, or was it 2 years ago?
It I mean, they played
And
this weekend, but they must decide. So, because I mean, now I might have to cancel my Romanos trip. I mean, to me, Charlie Bay is going to be in town, but no, and the guys up the road from me.
I think LBB will be in town, Cooks. I think you must delay your trip to the South Coast.
I really feel like, oh,
I don't. I'm not 1,000% sure who the Bulls will be playing. So it might be LBB against the Straviano Jakobs types of players. But yeah, I think it
I must
will.
have Charlie Bay up in Paris, and I'm like, it's like now it's going to be up the road from me. Oh man, no, I do agree. I think so. Scarlett. Sorry, guys. I'd love for you guys to be there, but I mean, I think Scarlett's in power for me. Miss out.
Yeah,
Scarlett's.
sorry, go on, Cooks.
I think I mean, Scarlett's is just happy to be in the party. Smile, enjoy the vibes. I could bring LBB to town. This is a great day for them. Why can't I, if you're the Stormers, like, why can't you like step into this pool, like, or pool two?
Yeah, like this for the Bulls, if they were in better form, I'd be like, this is actually not a bad place to be in. But yeah, their first two games are literally the two finalists. So they host Bordeaux, then they have to go to Northampton. So yeah, the Bulls could fall out, especially if they sort of do like split squads and all that sort of stuff. But I think power in, I think the Bulls are in, and Northampton and Bordeaux are in. So I think Bristol falls out, but Bristol have been pretty good, short if I'm not mistaken. They've been decent in the top in the Prem. So I say that warily, but I think power actually sort of they are in really good form, and that's what they need. They need to just continue with that. They'll probably play the same guys. They won't really change up, I think, much. I think they will sort of just continue with this form and kind of worry about rest and rotation a bit later. But yeah, I think the Bulls could be in danger. Like, because if the Bulls lose the Bordeaux game at home, for them to qualify, they need to get themselves to 9, 10 points. They need to then win one away. So are they winning away in Pau? Probably not. Are they winning away in Northampton? Probably not. So the Bulls could be in danger here.
I'll disagree. I think the Bulls could win away in France.
To Pau.
Yeah. It is so interesting though. The Bulls have the ability to go away and win.
Yeah.
They do have that. It's just about mindsets and where your head is at, and are you going to go like, will they have everything connected with new coaching-ish setup and players brought in, etc., etc. They can win there. I think this might be a step too far for Power, in that they might start spreading themselves a bit thin, and they might need to make a call. And it is about home games, and it's about home game wins first, and then it's about the top 14. That's how the French clubs work. So the one bad thing for the Bulls is it's going to be powered home, but the good thing is it'll be in the Champions Cup.
Yeah. Bordeaux versus Northampton's on the 11th of January on a Sunday. Just mark that in your calendar. I think that'll be a great game to look forward to. Quickly on the Challenge Cup. So the Lions and the Cheetahs are representatives there. The Lions are in Pool 2. They're with Lyon, Newcastle, Dragons, Benetton, and Perpignan. And then the Cheetahs are in a group with Cardiff, Exeter, Racing, Stade Francais, 2 trips to Paris, and Ulster. So this weekend, Lions are hosting Lyon in Johannesburg, and the Cheetahs they're still in Amsterdam, right? But they're hosting Ulster. I think they're in Amsterdam. Gents, Shaun, I mean, again, the Cheetahs are going to obviously go for it. Like, these are big games for them, and we'll see how far they can get to that. I mean, they've been pretty good at least getting themselves into a knockout round and then sort of falling out. For the Lions, like, do you continue the vibes? Do you continue to try and make a run here? Like, we've always said, like, this is a chance for them to win something and at least get themselves far, but they seem to always fall out in, like, the quarterfinal stage.
Yeah. It's so hard. I really do feel like when you don't really have the momentum or the squad to deal with a dual attack. And in terms of competition wise, you will always default down to your domestic competition. And there's a lot more familiarity there. There's a lot less disruption there. So yeah, I don't see. I see them going hard if they if they get a decent draw after once they get to the knockouts, and then they get to make a decision. Perhaps the URC is not going how it should. But if they have a run in the URC, then I really feel that the Challenge Cup will become a second fiddle kind of a tournament for them because they'd want to push all their eggs into that basket. But we've got 4 games to go before that really gets serious in terms of making that decision. So you kind of got to give it a good tonk. So yeah, it'll be interesting as to how they deal with it. The thing is they really, in their group alone, they really could finish top of that table. So that's quite important for them and for everyone to know is they have what it takes to finish top. There'll be a couple of tough games. I think the Benetton and Lyon game will be tough for them, but they can finish top of that group.
Yeah. It's look, Challenge Cup, I mean, Challenge Cup with some teams on some nice form. I mean, Ulster in the top 4, Stade Francais are having a bit of a resurgence. They're in the top 4 of their competition. Montpellier is actually quite decent this year with Lyon. You can also throw in Cardiff, they're second at the moment. So, and Exeter are also second in the Prem as well. So some really good quality teams. Obviously, there'll be 4 teams coming down from the Champions Cup as well. Guys, I know it's very early to make a prediction, but if you had to put your money down, Kooks, who wins the Champions Cup this season?
Oh man, Thala is starting. I think Bordeaux goes back to back.
Ooh, spicy. Bordeaux back to back. Shaun?
I'm going to cop out of this. I'm going to say it's going to be a Bordeaux Toulouse final. So, and then I'm kind of going to go with Toulouse.
Yeah, Eddie Shark has put his neck on the line. It's a massive call. I mean, like I said in the first part, the Toulouse side, not normally good in the Champions Cup. It's a massive call just made there, Shaun. What else?
Toulouse.
Don't take that line down, Shaun. Defend yourself.
Toulouse. And I hope they thump you and your team.
Yeah, what's the next show? Next year, championship. You know what I'm gonna pick the Springboks. Was one brother. Yeah, good call again. Shark is walking.
I thought it was quite a big thing saying Bordeaux to lose final. Yeah. So you don't think Leinster have a snowball chance in hell?
I was just about to ask, like, where's the love for Leinster, guys? Are we
I've been
just going to give them
I've been burned for 4 years in a row.
I think that's quite a statement, actually. I'm feeling hurt, eh? It's starting to come to me, Thala. It's coming. It's I'm being like drip fed this anger here. Excuse me, Toulouse Bordeaux final, I think is quite a something.
No, actually, I'm not saying.
Where's the love for Leinster?
Gone. Like I mean, like what? Like, guys, we do this for the last 4 years now. It's been frustrating. I do think they'll make the final, but I've got a feeling it's just been hurt.
Leinster.
Yeah, I think they make the final.
Do you say Leinster making the final?
I think they can make the final
over Toulouse.
Yes.
Who's making the final?
Leinster against Bordeaux.
Really? And who's knocking Toulouse out, and at what stage of the competition?
So the semi-final. Stormers will make the semis. Stormers will be in the semi-final.
Ooh.
But then
I'll be interested.
They'll lose to Bordeaux, and then Leinster will be Toulouse. Rico, you want it just Rico, you want to win it just for you, Sharky. Rico, you want to win it just for you.
Listen, we all know he can score tries, but can he defend? Okay.
Just to be spicy, just to make sure we cover all our bases. I'll have a Leinster Bath final.
Ooh.
Yes.
Leinster somehow losing to Bath, and then that will just cause a crash out in Irish rugby. Yeah. I was made aware apparently that X, there's a bit of a Finn Russell, like why wasn't he in the World 15 thing? So like this could be his way to get into a Player of the Year nomination if he can lead Bath to a Champions Cup. But yeah, to be real though, I mean, it's Toulouse until proven otherwise. Like
Yeah.
someone has to deal with Toulouse in order to win this competition. I don't know who it is. I do think, Shaun, you do make a good point about Peter Aki and his ability to fill in gaps. They don't have Malia for the season as well. I think Malvaka is still a few weeks away, so could be something. But yeah, if Toulouse are anywhere near their full strength, even if they're not near their full strength, but you still have to deal with them, and that's a very tough prospect. Kooks, you've kind of answered this question because you've said Stormers you think will be in the semi-final. Shaun, who's the second team that goes the furthest?
Sheesh.
Sharks in the Challenge Cup.
I Sharks Lions final in the Challenge Cup.
Yeah.
I think both the Bulls and the Stormers are knocked out by the end of the quarterfinals. They're gone. So they might even go before then, but I don't think we have a South African team in the semifinals.
For another year running. Yeah, I mean, I think it must be the Stormers. I'm kind of worried about the Bulls and their matchups now. But yeah, the key to this recipe, guys, is you need to be top of your pool. And I mean, the Stormers don't have I think they have the best chance to be top of their pool. So that's the way for them to do it. Be top or at least second in your pool, home last 16, hopefully even a home quarterfinal. Then semifinals, okay, cool. Then you dig into some Chasing the Sun. You watch that a few times. Maybe you can get yourself 2 away wins. But yeah, I think the Stormers have the best chance there. Sharky?
I just saw now that there's been no sighting on Alex Mann, so Mann will not be in the situation that Eben Etzebeth is in any way, shape, or form from the weekend. So it'll only be Eben Etzebeth that'll be facing sanction for his red card this weekend.
Ooh.
Okay, so let's see how that goes. Peaceful weekend on Twitter to look forward to, I'm sure.
Extremely.
Let's end it off. Let's end it off on that note. Thank you so much for listening to this Rugby podcast. There's so much to look forward to. Later this week, we'll see, maybe either later this week or early next week, we'll do a nice big review of the Springboks and their 2025. There's Champions Cup that we'll talk about, and there's, I guess, Sevens as well that we'll probably see. And yeah, there's and Challenge Cup as well. So there's a lot that we can look forward to. Thank you for listening. Please like, share, and subscribe to this podcast on Spotify or on YouTube. Like and follow our social media channels as well, so you can get all this updated rugby news as well. And we will see you again later this week. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.